Welcome back, guys. This is the 101 guide to Vermintide 2 Get Good. The reason I made this video is over the week I've been playing a lot of Vermintide 2. Many people are jumping to this game, many new people who've never played one before. Welcome to the game. And at the same time, the pug failure rates are now at 75 to 80%. So this video is to help you guys get good at Vermintide 2 to understand the 101 basic. Now, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the basics from the beginning. As you know, in Vermintide 2, you can move left, right, backward, forward, and also jump. Now, here's an advanced 101 tip that you might not know about in Vermintide 2. If you hold left, right, or backward and jump, you'll be able to do a sidestep. You can't spam the sidestep because eventually it's going to stop working if you hit it too much, but you can do this to backtrack, avoid hits, and also dodge hits. So this is a very important move to remember. It's very helpful when fighting bosses in the game and a great way to avoid getting hit many times. This is very important for movement. Aside from just movement in the game, you can also attack in Vermintide 2. Now, when you attack in the game, you want to combine it with your movement in order to avoid hits. You don't want to be stationary because things can happen to you from special mobs. They'll kill you if you just stand in one place. So you want to combine your movement and attack your enemies. Now, aside from just attacking, there's another thing about attacking in the game that you might not know about, and that's charge attacks. Charge attacks are important in this game to do good damage, and in order to do it, you have to hold down your attack button. The thing about this is that you don't want to hold down your attack all the way many times because there's going to be hundreds of mobs coming at you, and you're just waiting for that charge to go off, and by the time that the charge attack goes off, enemies will hit you. And many times, that will cancel your charge attack. So you want to let go of your charge attacks at certain moments to do some great damages. You don't have to hold it all the way unless you're attacking big mobs and you get that big hits in. You have to time it accordingly. So you want to let go of it when needed. And many times, depending on the weapon, it might even clear a swath of enemies. Aside from just attacking in the game, you also have a block. You'll see shields appear on your screen, you put your weapons up, and you block. And this is very helpful to avoid enemy hits. As you get hit, a shield goes down. In order to recover your stamina shield, you just have to give it a little bit of time without getting hit while blocking or using it up through another method that you might not know about, and that's pushing. You can push enemy in this game while holding block button and pressing attack at the same time. Pushing is also very important to throw off at enemies. When you're not using your shield, why not waste a bit on a push? And you might be thinking, why should I push when I can be attacking? Well, pushing fumbles enemies, and depending on your talent and spec, you can push enemies and it will help your team out because this is a team-oriented game and you want to help your teammates out. Pushing is very essential and important in the game. Trust me, it helps the team out. Now that we've gone over the melee, there's also another thing you should know about the game, is that you do have a ranged weapon. And at the same time, the ranged weapon sometimes will allow you to push. Different ranged weapons that you have equipped on does have weaknesses and also strength, and you want to capitalize on that strength. For example, rifles are good for long range. If you have a cannon, it's good for shooting many enemies. I've seen many people make the mistakes of wasting ammo in this game. Some weapons don't use ammo and recharge slowly over time, and if you use too much heat, they explode. But there are ranged weapons that use ammo, and I've seen people waste all their ammos on regular mobs. And this is not really a good idea because you want to save some of the ammo to kill some of the special mobs. Sometimes special mobs can teleport, they can be from far away, and you might be the key to stopping them. And when you're out of ammo, you can't really shoot them. You might lose a teammate in the process, or the special unit will survive and run about all over the place until you can catch them. So it's very important to save some ammo just for some of those ranged units. In Vermintide 2, the game introduces a new aspect to the game, which is abilities. In order to use abilities, it's the purple bar at the bottom that you see charged up. You press the F key on the keyboard by default. And what that does is, depending on your class, it's a special ability that will be used up to help you. For example, in this case, I'm a dwarf. I'm going to go invisible, and that helps me beat up enemy or even res a teammate because enemies will avoid me. And finally, this is the last ability that you can do in this game. It's the basic. People tend to forget it or they get lazy because other people are doing it, but everyone should be doing this. This will save lives. This is called the ping. What you do is you ping items you see, you ping enemies, special enemies, and potions, pots, health kits. Even though you see it in the game, your character will call it out, they never highlight that item for your entire group to see. In order for your group to see it, you must ping the item. And you're thinking, well, I don't have to ping items if someone else is doing it. You're wrong. Never get lazy on this. If you're pugging the game or playing with friends, pinging is very, very important. It also stays on the enemy for a little bit before it goes away, so that you know where the enemy teleports to or where they run off to. You'll be able to see through walls when you ping certain things. The blue outline shows up, bam, ping, just by looking around, and you'll be able to discover things that you can't even see in the shadows. It helps. You'll find grimoires, you'll find tomes, you name it. You'll see things that you didn't know were there before because certain places in the game are really dark to see, so you want to ping. Anyways, it's very important to ping. Just ping it. Now we go into the advanced tip of gameplay. This is 101 stuff and also common sense stuff that will help you improve your gameplay. First common sense rule is never ever try to res people when they're down and surrounded by enemies without going in while holding right click. This is important because it blocks while you can get them up real quick depending on the situation. If you can't get them up, clear the enemies first before you try to get them up. And if someone else is doing it, let that person do it. Don't fight them for it. There's absolutely no point when you can be killing enemies and clearing it. Instead, you're in there with someone else trying to fight getting that person up just to get that revive score on the scoreboard. The next tip to remember is when you see ramps that go over places and then drop down, most certainly sometimes you can't go backward. So do not stand on the ramp and start shooting enemies because a special mob can attack you from behind and then you won't be able to get picked up from the top. You'll die in the process. So when you drop down from a point, everybody drops down together. Next tip is if you want better loot in the game, you have to find grimoires and tome, dices, and so on. Grimoires can be thrown away, so be careful when switching to it because you might accidentally throw it away. It also takes up a beneficial potion slot and at the same time lowers the health of your entire team. And it is also loss on death, so be careful on dying. The other thing is tomes in the game. If you pick up a tome, it takes up a health potion slot. However, you can pick up health potions still, heal real quick, and re-pick up the tome. The next tip is about bosses in the game. Sometimes you'll encounter rat ogres or the chaos spawn and so on. And when you fight them, look at your surrounding, lure them out of an area. Don't fight them in tight quarters, try to fight them in open spaces, block, use dodges. Don't just run in gung-ho trying to beat the crap out of a rat ogre. You might just die in the process. Also, don't just go chasing after specials by yourself away from your group. You might get caught by other specials. Yes, the game doesn't just spawn one specials. They spawn multiple specials. They might get you. Try to shoot them down in range, try to hit them in the head if they're shielded, and try to kill them first. And finally, the last advanced tip. This is very important in this game. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you elves and dwarves, but you are not Gimli and you are not Legolas. You cannot fight an army by yourself. A special can instantly take you down. Stop wandering ahead of the group by yourself as if you are the legendary from Lord of the Rings. You are not those heroes. You will never be those heroes. Stop doing it because I have seen so many great games fail due to this. Anyways, that's all the tips and tricks I can provide for this game. I can't give you any more. That's it. If you've been listening since 8 minutes ago, then congratulations. You are now good at the game. Your family loves you again. You will be a hero to your friends, and people will less likely be toxic to you in the game. Trust me. So practice, remember the basics in the 101, and you'll be all right. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy Vermintide 2. And if you think I missed any other 101 tips, feel free to comment on the bottom and leave those tips down there for people. It's a team-oriented game. Let's help each other out. They'll be the people you're playing with.